It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here.
It's lovely. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Unity Trend on your radio. This is Unity 93.3 FM, Unity TV, and we are reaching you live from the hills of ZINARIYA here in just North Plateau State, Nigeria. Iji Adamu is my name, your regular anchor on this wonderful program. I don't do this alone, and so without waste of time, let me just introduce the two gentlemen in the studio with me this morning. I have to my right-hand side Barrister Paul Zaruma. This is one man who believes in giving the facts about every issue at all, especially when it comes to political issues. And so he's coming your way with a big good morning, so get ready for that. Barrister, good morning.
Good morning, Kulbi. Good morning, Prof. A big good morning to viewers and listeners. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are receiving these signals. I wish you a blissful and a peaceful stay even as you listen to this program.
All right, thank you so much. Don't forget, today is Thursday, the 23rd day in the month of May, the year 2024. It promises to be very, very interesting. This is because you are committed to making sure things happen just the way it should be for the good of our society. To my left is Professor Proveno H. Barmayi, Dean, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos, and erudite public and current affairs analyst. And he's coming your way. Have you eaten? Morning, Prof.
Good morning, Kobe and Barrister. Have you eaten? Mm-hmm. It's good to eat food.
Yes. You gave us a big one yesterday.
If the food is not there, enter your neighbor's house and greet them.
Seriously, Prof?
And then you target the time when they're eating. Absolutely. Good morning, viewers and listeners. If you're in other parts of the world that is not morning, good afternoon and good evening. Those watching us by satellite TV in over 23 countries, we're glad to have you. Those on YouTube and Facebook, we're also happy that you're part of this fantastic broadcast this morning on Unity 93.3 FM radio and Unity TV. This is Unity Train, and the train is a train of unity indeed, taking us to a fantastic destination. Please invite your friends, invite your neighbors, invite your colleagues. Tell somebody we are on air, because we have fantastic issues that we want to discuss this beautiful day. Please let me quickly remind you, 2024 will not be here forever. Today is already 23rd May 2024. After today, there will never be a 23rd May 2024 again forever. Once it has passed, it is gone forever. It will never return back. And that is why you must live each day one day at a time. Maximize every opportunity that you have. We must maximize the opportunity of a lifetime during the lifetime of the opportunity. So what about those projects, those dreams, those visions, those goals? At the beginning of the year, 2024, you were bragging about the things you're going to do this year, right? How far so far have you gone with those goals, those dreams, those aspirations, those resolutions? Are they smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound? Remember, as you go about achieving those objectives, those dreams, those visions, there will be obstacles, there will be hindrances. Things are not going to be rosy. Life is not a bed of roses. So you will meet with resistance. But your persistence will break every resistance. Remember that Janus is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. So perspire to acquire what you require in life. In case you do not acquire, don't retire. Refire. Don't give up. Remember that winners don't quit. Quitters they don't win. Remember that tough times never last, but tough people do. No matter how difficult the Nigerian economy is, the economy around the world is, tell yourself that I can make it. Be determined. Remember that no matter the economy of the jungle, the lion will never eat grass. The lion will still look for prey. He will eat meat because he's a lion. He was created that way. So don't give up because of the economy. Don't lose heart. Don't be discouraged. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. And while you go about pursuing your dreams, your objectives, your visions for 2024 and beyond, please remember to be the change that you want to see in the world.
It's lovely, and thank you so much for staying tuned with us. We are streaming live on Facebook, and you can connect with us at Unity Radio FM/TV JAWS. Yes, again, at Unity Radio FM/TV JAWS. Drop your comments, I'll get to read them. Okay, and if you want to send us an SMS too, you can do that via 0808-478-9999. Remember, there is a whole segment of this program dedicated to our listener and viewer, just in case you want to be a part of the entire conversation. So get ready for that, because it's coming your way even today. Without waste of time, policeman shot dead by colleague in Jos. That's what we have for a headline. And another Business Day headline says, policeman killed, traders injured as PLATEAU moves to curb illegal trading. Minimum wage, Nigerian workers reject the federal government's fresh 58,000 naira after proposed 497,000 naira. And Russia begins tactical nuclear weapon drills near Ukraine border. And that's, with this and many more, shall come your way. And it's interesting to let you know that on this very review segment, the studio line will be on, just in case you want to be part of it, especially our traders around terminals. If you have anything to say, the studio line will be on in case. Then we pick your call and hear your own side of the whole situation. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, let's just begin right now.
Well, could be yesterday was a sad day for us in the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. Yet another sad day. We've had many sad days, unfortunately, this year. And unfortunately, we had yet another one yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, messages were flying left, right, and center. In social media, people were cautioning us not to come to terminus. They said there was a pandemonium, anarchy, confusion, commotion at a terminus area. They said, don't come towards terminus. Wait, confirm that it is safe before you pass through there. A policeman has been killed. All people have been injured. This one has happened. Some people have been shot. Some people are battling between life and death, you know. We're receiving all manner of news on social media. And because it is important in this platform, we know what it is to give the right information to people. So I called this morning before coming to the studio. I decided to talk with the police image maker, the PPRO, DSP Alfred Alabo. I said, officer, what happened? Tell me. We are receiving different versions. Some people said somebody from the crowd shot and killed the police officer. I said, what? Some people say, oh, police officer killed his colleague. Some people said, oh, we don't know what happened. Some people say, oh, we saw them carrying an officer and he looks as if he's dead. What exactly is the situation? Now, the police image maker has already made an official release about this issue. And this is what happened yesterday. When the law enforcement team came to enforce the executive order 003 of 2024, That executive order, among many other things, empowers law enforcement agents to clear terminals of illegal traders. People who are still selling things by the roadside. Remember, on this platform, we said that it looks as if things have not changed, at the terminals area. One of the days I was passing there, these traders were selling things everywhere. And people were patronizing them. And so yesterday, the enforcement team went to clear these illegal traders who are involved in criminal acts, because it is criminal to disobey the law. When there is a law, as a patriotic citizen, you should obey the law. The law is made for us, to protect us, to bring order and sanity in the society. And when you choose to disobey the law, then you're guilty of an offense. So they came to clear the place. Then we had a repeat of what happened 2-3 weeks ago, when the enforcement agents went there and people, those traders and maybe their customers and some hoodlums and hooligans, unpatriotic Nigerians and some foreign elements who are in our country, started throwing stones and confronting the security forces. This was what happened yesterday. They began to confront the security forces. The security forces risk losing their own lives. And so the security forces decided to throw tear gas. And when they threw tear gas, there was, of course, commotion. There was pandemonium, confusion everywhere. Okay. And still, their lives were not safe. To tell you how dangerous these hooligans, where do we have them from on the plateau? Where did they come from? They were still bent on attacking, lynching the security forces. So the security forces decided to fire warning shots. Fire warning shots in the air. But this is it. How did the policeman die? That was my interest. And that was my question to the police image maker, the PPR. And he said the shot came from a sister agency. Full stop. That's why we'll put a full stop. We don't want to go further than that. Because an arrest has been made and investigation is on. We must salute the Commissioner of Police, who swiftly moved to the site of action yesterday. The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Adeshino, quickly mobilized and came to terminus in person himself, not delegating the responsibility, to ensure that sanity was restored and there was investigation, preliminary findings, and preliminary arrests. And so the person who fired the shot has confessed that he was the one that fired the shot mistakenly. He made a mistake and is in custody. Further investigations will go on. But you see,
the cause,
we should not have reached this level. We reached this level because people are not ready to obey the law. Now, a police officer has lost his life. At least 5, 6, 7 other people have been injured, some of them critically injured in hospital. Should we have gotten to this level? What is wrong with us in this country? Why can't people just obey the law? Simple, obey the law. Stop selling things on the road. Are you the ones that built the road? Are you the ones? Do you own that road? Is it your personal property? Why would you be blocking the road, selling things on the road? This is what has led us to this. Why are we so disobedient? Why are we so criminally minded? What is wrong with us?
Okay,
this is the problem. And when it comes to enforcement, Nigerians forget that enforcement is not the duty of the police or security forces alone. Anytime there is enforcement, enforcement involves the enforcement agencies, the security forces. It involves the individuals in selling those things and the customers and everybody. So if you go there and you're buying goods and services by the roadside where it is forbidden, you are also criminally guilty. You are also an offender of the law because you are not supposed to. Now tell me, it could be, if those people selling things by the roadside, if nobody comes to buy, will they be there? Will they be selling things there?
That's it, sir.
They will not. So why do we go and patronize them? The other day, I was almost even tempted to buy something by the road as I was driving past the place, and I had to remember and caution myself. It looks so convenient to just, maybe pull over, or while you're inside your car, you decide to. But it is against the law. Stop it, please, people of Plateau, citizens of Jos and Bukuru Metropolis, please. When an order has been given, disobedience to constituted authority is sin against God. Okay, it is not only an offense against the law and against the government, you're also sinning against God. What is wrong with us when we are so religious? The average Nigerian is either a Muslim or Christian, and yet we are so disobedient. What is the problem with us?
Okay, these are some of the reasons that you want to think of inviting the military to come over and assist in these efforts. And Barrister is in the studio. Don't you think it's about time? Because it seems very hard to have a smooth, compliance. This thing just happened and then it's done. No. So, what's your take?
This is not the kind of situation where you bring in the military.
Okay.
This is still at the civil level. The basic responsibility of the military is to protect Nigerian territorial integrity. And what is happening in Terminus is not a threat to our territorial integrity.
Okay.
The military have other angle of responsibility, which the other day we pointed out that they also have humanitarian angle and so many other angles. And the military forces are also very organized in terms of dealing with issues. However, what is happening in Terminus in terms of law enforcement of this nature, it is not the responsibility of the military. And then it has also not exceeded the capability of our police. All that is needed now is change of strategy. Yeah, we kept on hammering change of strategy. In as much as or some people are in the market are deviant, there should be change of strategy in the approach. We commend the police for a wonderful work yesterday. If they had applied disproportionate force, use of force, probably the situation would have escalated. And we will not be talking about it now. Maybe it's a different story it would have been. But the police exercised restraint, and that was very professional. We also condole with the state governor and the commissioner of police for the demise of that fine police officer who died at the course of duty. And we also call it on the state government not to just allow his family or his beneficiary to go like that. Something has to be done in order to encourage other servicemen that are working in the plateau.
All right.
Be that as it may, we have wonderful and fantastic riot policemen that have the capability and capacity to handle this issue without necessarily bringing in the military. We are also calling on the government not to give up, because giving up is like allowing the hooligans to win the battle. So the law must be enforced, the law must be observed.
All right, that's lovely. Let's look at the issues of labor at this point. Let's see what they have. Their demands is still pressing on for what they demanded of the federal government at the moment. So, Prof, over to you. We have a few more minutes. Listener viewer, the studio line is still on, by the way.
Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress. The fireworks is still on. You see, what the tripartite committee is doing is just postponing the evil day. First, we'll give you 48,000, or we'll give you 54,000, or we'll give you 58,000. What is that? I mean, why the piecemeals? In fact, Labour has been forced to shift grounds from 615,000 naira, which was based on statistics, scientific research, based on data available to Labour, and they have reluctantly shifted ground to 497,000 naira. But the government is not shifting enough grounds. The government is just doing like, a woman beginning things in the market and saying, okay, I'll pay 10 naira. Okay, 10 naira, 50 kobo. Okay, 11 naira. That's what the government is doing, as represented by the negotiating team that is working in favor of the government. Because you see that these things, when they go there, even though the government will tell you theoretically that the committee is empowered to negotiate on our behalf, but it is all a lie. The government is dictating how much they can negotiate. It is not as if they have been given an open check, any amount you negotiate will pay. The government will tell them, please, make sure you don't go beyond this amount. Make sure it is around this amount. And so we're just deceiving ourselves. If it is 58,000 naira that is minimum wage, it is useless setting up the tripartite committee. We shouldn't have even wasted Nigerians' money to have a tripartite committee that was asking for 500 million to 1 billion naira for their sittings.
The way forward now. And
the way forward is to give Labour what they're asking for. The 497,000 might be much, but anything in the region of 300,000 to 400,000, we can convince Labour to accept. But 58,000 certainly is not acceptable by every standard, whether in Nigeria, locally, or internationally.
Barrister, what is your take on this? Don't you think it's good to just take this?
Yesterday, they had a tripartite meeting, organized Labour, government, as well as the organized private sector. After a serious deliberation, the organized private sector initially offered 54,000 as a minimum wage.
Yes.
Then the federal government said they didn't mention anything in that area because they are careful. But eventually, they aligned themselves with the organized labor, and in the process of aligning themselves, they added 3,000, making it 57,000 naira as minimum wage. Labour has outrightly rejected the offer, and as a result of that rejection, there have been a kind of a cat and mouse game during the meeting. So some of the representatives of organized labor were of the view that federal government does not have proof that they cannot pay, because federal government made a blanket statement that there is no money, that they cannot pay. That's through their representative. However, on the part of the organized labor, they said, no, you don't have proof. Prove to us that there is no money to pay. And I think up till now, they are waiting for the government to prove that there is no money. They pointed at some indices. They say, number one, you bought about 160 million vehicle for each of the National Assembly members. If you don't have money, will you embark on such jamboree? They also challenge them for spending humongous amount of money in renovating the Senate chamber that doesn't obviously need renovation, and the house, the office of the vice president that also does not necessarily need such a major renovation. And the monies are into billions of naira. And they said, if you don't have money, why are you embarking on such unnecessary project? So you don't have any evidence to say you don't have money. Therefore, the challenge the federal government that said, only on the first phase of the pilgrimage, you have already spent 90 billion. And you are telling us you don't have money? And they are saying, is it workers' wage or which one are you prioritizing among these things that they mentioned? So these are some of the challenges the Labour are throwing to the federal government, that the federal government, after facing a serious hit from those challenges, they had to call for a brief recess, and then we are expecting that there will be a great improvement. We are also expecting that the outcome of the meeting should be so significant that it will change the life of an average Nigerian and the life of workers that are serving this country.
Okay, all right.
Because the more the lives of workers is improved, the life of other citizens will also be improved.
Of course,
yes.
Especially for us in this country. Thank you
so much. And basically, most of the reasons why the federal, the government in general are doing some of these things, the Labour also challenged them during that meeting that from the day they remove a subsidy, that the state government have increased their salary 3 times. So why is it that other citizens of Nigeria, such gesture will not be extended to them?
All right, thank you so much, Barrister. Professor, thank you. Truly appreciate you on behalf of all our listeners and viewers there. Thank you. It's time for a commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Unity. Unity TV.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again.
It's lovely, and I'm so happy to say welcome back. This is Unity Train on Unity 93.3 FM from the hills of ZINARIYA here in Jos North Plateau State, Nigeria. We are reaching you live. Don't forget, my name remains Eji Adamu. Just call me Cool B, and I'll be just fine. By the way, it's Thursday, the 23rd day in the month of May, the year 2024. It's 8:30. That's Nigerian time in a way, because you might be following us from countries where, of course, we don't have the same as it is with us in this part of the world. I truly appreciate, and this is the second segment of Unity Train this morning, and we call it Transit, and it promises to be very, very interesting. By the way, don't forget, we are streaming live on Facebook, and you can connect with us and throw your comment, because time is coming. I get to read all of your comments. By the way, remember also, I was not able to read your comments on Facebook yesterday. God's willing, I'll start with that today, and before the ones that will follow up for this morning edition of Unity Train. In the studio, we have what concerns you and my very own self. That's what we'll be discussing this morning. Okay, we have a lot of people, being invited to, click some certain links and join some funding processes and whatever on our various mobile phones here and there. Now, it tells you that it is very good to have what is called cyber security understanding, be able to save yourself from being part of some of these things. Okay, so we have it for a topic to discuss this morning. Software engineering and cyber security. And I have in the studio, any other person than someone who is able, who is a professional, who is an expert in things like that, a software engineer and a cyber security expert, a founder, Muryar Jiya of FinTech Solution, and a co-founder, LoveTech, a hybrid tech company that does renewable energy and software engineering service, and head of training at KC. Hope. I'm talking about Chair Leo Dealers Yusuf. He's in the studio. He's been into a lot of things actually, but I'll just let him say very big good morning to our listener and viewer even right now. Chair, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome. All right, without waste of time, Mr. Chair Leo Dealers, he's one person that is into a lot. Before we begin talking the topic for today, I will let you understand also that he's into filmmaking. I don't know if he has run away from filmmaking, all right, but then he's too good at that he was mentioned severally by someone who is doing well in terms of animation. I'm talking about Steve Shima, a lecturer at National Film Institute here in Jos. Shima would always talk about you. He's so proud of you, and he mentioned about you being a very good person in terms of animation. I don't know if you're still into that. Well, that's not our topic for today, but in case you will say something a minute on that, Chair.
Yeah, good morning, listeners. My name is Chair Dilas Yusuf, and I'm a software engineer and a cybersecurity expert. And I've been doing animation for a couple of decades. Despite the fact I've put to hold on that. And I'm concentrating more on software engineering and cybersecurity right now.
Okay.
And actually, animation was the tool that really brought me into tech. Because I was building plugins for video editors and visual effects guys. So I was also doing that, and I was writing plugins for them as well.
All right. And so in the meantime, you're into something different other than animation.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's good to know that you've not said bye-bye to filmmaking and other things as well. Well, back to our topic for today. Now, cyber security. Let's just take it from the word cyber before we go to digging deep into security, because I know this is one topic that affects virtually everybody. People have mobile phones, and that's what is obtainable everywhere as it is right now. And so the needs to be deliberate in improving the security of our cyberspace is eminent. Very important. But then, what do you mean when you say cyber?
Now, the word cyber means, let me use an instance, It's more like a global house. It's the connectivity of people together. So basically, we're talking about internet. So internet is a global village that connects people together irrespective of their location. So with that regard, we have to take our cyber security or our security in check when we are surfing through the internet.
All right. Okay. Now, cybersecurity. So, why is it that important for us to be deliberate about cybersecurity? Let's just bring it down to such a way that everybody will find this topic interesting for himself. Now, cybersecurity. Why is it important to sort of being deliberate security?
It's very, very important to be mindful of your security most especially when you're surfing through the net, as far as you're using a smartphone or a computer system that is connected to the internet.
Yes.
And the reason is because there are a lot of hackers out there, malicious attacks that are going on, trying to steal your data, because we all know that data will be the future currency. So when we're talking about data, we're talking about everything about yourself, from your image, your picture, your surname, your full names, your email address, your phone numbers, your addresses, etc. Those are very, very important. And that's what make most of these companies, like Facebook, gives them the money, because they sell this data to advertisement company where in exchange for monetary value.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Well, you mentioned, accounts being hacked. Now, why is it of a trouble, of anything of a concern, that if my account, whether Facebook or whatever account that you have, is hacked, is it any big trouble for me?
Yeah, it's a trouble for you as a person, because most of your data, it's exposed. So now, when an attacker or a hacker get access to your Facebook account, what he do first is to lock you out. When he does that,
And take charge?
yes, when he does that, he then try to communicate to your friends as you, in order to get money from them. And actually, most times, all this hacking thing that is going on all over the world is because of the what we call the dark web. So the dark web is the internet that is below the surface of the internet. Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. So there are a lot of dark things that are going on there. So people sell data in exchange for monetary values. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Now, is there any sign for someone to know that there's an attempt, to hack his account? Because I was with someone just recently, I think, was it Victor Bamshek, who was like, oh, someone is trying to hack my account. I said, how did you get to know about this? He said, I received maybe a notification from his Google account or so. He said, look at this, my Google account or my email account is telling me this. So it's like someone is trying to, is there any sign for someone to know that there's an attempt to hack his account?
Yes, you always get notification from Facebook. But Facebook have put some security checks on their newly updated apps these days. So you definitely get a notification on an activity going on. If you're not the one, then they will tell you, they will give you instruction to follow. And there are different attacks that the attacker launches. So I can mention a few.
Okay.
Yeah, there is the phishing attack, there is the DDoS attack, and there is the man in the middle attack. These are the three I was just mentioning right now. So the phishing attack is more like pretending to be the vendor or the software that are servicing you with your daily activities, like e.g. Facebook. So someone will just say, okay, we're advertising this, or they will definitely do a background check, which is basically social engineering on you. So they will know what you like. For example, if you always like to check for shoes, so they will send you a link with the shoe. So when you click on that link, it navigates you to their own website, not Facebook anymore.
I see.
So when you go there, they will now request you to now log in, because they are pretending to be Facebook. So they ask you to log in. When you log in, they capture your login credentials. Then they now log in on the real Facebook as you, log you out. Then they take charge of your Facebook account. So that's a phishing attack.
You mean hackers will always do a research? They try to get
Yes.
to know you
Yes, of course.
before even attempting
launching an
to send
attack.
you any message.
Yes.
Oh.
So most times they will come as friend. So they send you friend request, you accept, You start going through your
Okay.
profile to know what you have been doing previously. You know, people always like to post things on social media, and those things are about themselves. And when you post things about yourself, you're literally telling people who you are. So when a hacker wants to hack you, you first of all, you do the social engineering,
Okay.
trying to know you, trying to know what you love to do, trying to know where you always go on the internet. Yeah.
Okay, Chet, please just tell me this now. Is it good for me to always post on social media to say, okay, this is my family, the number of my family, we're eating, and I'm traveling, I'm going to Abuja. No, I'm traveling this. Oh, my friend is in the hospital. Just your opinion. Do you think this in any way will serve a big deal to revealing who you are that might be of importance to someone who will dare to attack you someday?
My own humble opinion, I think is you should be sensitive of the kind of material you dish out to the public. You should not just tell people about yourself and most especially sensitive information about yourself.
Your whereabouts.
Yes,
your
whereabouts,
location.
your
Just trying to
location.
say, okay, my home, my humble home in Doncaster. You just try to be specific about your whereabouts and family and everything,
Of
even
course.
your work.
Yeah, even if you're not mindful of your cybersecurity, there are other security things that you should also be mindful of. Yeah, someone might just hate you and use that as a tool to know where you are and come to your house to harm you. So we should just be mindful of the information we dish out there.
All right. Now, what then do we do? Because there is just no how we can throw away our mobile phone devices and some of these things, smartphones. We need them, of course, to continue to live and make impacts in our dear society. But you see, we also have to be deliberate in terms of improving security. So, what is your advice on how best we should make use of our smartphones?
Just be mindful of the links you click.
The links
The
that
links,
you want.
haphazard links that you just click. And the moment you click a link and you notice it's navigating to multiple websites, it's a sign. So you just have to stop.
Okay. Okay, sometimes too, how comes people are able to even, do some withdrawal from your accounts without you, permitting them? I've seen that.
There are so many techniques involved in that, and I will try to explain a few.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's assume I want to launch an attack on you. So first of all, I'll go to your social media.
Okay.
Trying to know you. Then possibly you always love to listen to music and download free music.
Okay.
I'll send you a link about the music. Then when I send you that link is a malicious link. It's not a real link.
Okay.
So possibly I must have written a rootkit or a malware that will get downloaded into your phone. And that malware, depending on what I want it to do, is it going to access your banking apps? Is it going to access your keystroke? Is it going to access, depending on the techniques. So from there, they can actually also get your phone number. There's other techniques like getting your phone number, then using, getting your BVN and the rest, because those are security identifications when you are accessing your banking apps. So from there, when they get access to your mobile app, then they can do whatever thing they want to do. Your banking app, to be specific. Yeah.
Sometimes too, you hear these hackers will be asking you to send further details, and at some point it's like they will ask you to do one thing, and after you've done it, they call you back and ask you again, okay, can you send us one or two codes that you will be, okay, we'll be sending you some information in 5 minutes or 15 minutes. And truly, just after that time, you receive some, text messages, or maybe through your accounts or email accounts, and then they will now call and ask you, can you send it to us again? So do you think as a country, or is it that we're not getting it right to have an improved security cyberspace, or what?
The thing is, cybersecurity is just like people used to say in the normal security space. Security is everybody's business.
It's
right?
everybody's business.
Yeah. So, like I said, you just have to be mindful of what you do on the internet. Now, in that regard, when someone call you and say, we have you included in the group, most especially WhatsApp hijackers. They say we have added you in a group, and we are sending you a code to join in the meeting, blah 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 blah. And they will now tell you we're sending you a code, and you now call that code. The truth is, if I'm sending you an OTP, no bank, no WhatsApp, no Facebook will call you and tell you they send you an OTP for you to send it back to them. It's not possible. It's not done that way.
Oh my! And then now you have the issue of banks also would always send this to their customers, or do I say clients now, asking them, don't reveal there are things you don't reveal to anybody at all. But yet, even as you have some of these things in your own device, the hackers also have a way of still accessing your mobile device and still get these things. I don't seem to. Okay, now, how does this affect? Let's bring it back to economy. Now, with all this cyber security challenge, how does it affect the ordinary man on the streets? Because my listener might be somebody who doesn't care too much about these smartphones, and doesn't believe it has a way of affecting his life in general. So how do you think this affects if it continues?
It will definitely affect our economic situation, because you can imagine you saving your entire savings in a bank, then in the twinkle of an eye, everything disappear. You definitely either go depressed and get worried. Some even go suicidal.
Okay, can you describe what's your take as regards the true situation of cybersecurity, the state at which we are right now? Is it something to be so concerned, or you feel it's not that bad yet?
It's something you should be very concerned about. It's something we should be very concerned about. Yeah.
So it's a problem already?
It's a problem already, because there are a lot of hacking activities going out there. It's either you're a victim or you're yet to be a victim.
It's either you are or you're yet to be.
Yes.
Okay, for those whom have been, so they have learned their lessons, right? But then, what should an individual do with his device even at home? You have made mention of one should be careful what the links he or she clicks at certain points, being invited to do this, to do that. So apart from pressing or joining or clicking a link, is there anything else one is expected to do just to improve security, cybersecurity?
Yeah, you can always install antiviruses, because most attacks comes in form of worms, malwares, or trojans, depending on the rootkit that is being written on. And we should just install the antiviruses in our devices, and also be mindful of the kind of website we visit.
Okay, Chair. Now, sometimes some of these hacking activities, you tend to want to feel that it's a Nigerian thing. So tell us if you know that this is happening everywhere. Is it just for us in Nigeria? Because you've seen people outside Nigeria, and sometimes when they visit Nigeria for the first time, they tend to be like, wow, so there are other good things about this country, Nigeria. But out there, people feel, no, this country is some kind of a country that you don't want to align with or associate with, because a lot has been heard of us when it comes to, they call it Yahoo, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what people get to hear. But do you think there's also something going on in other climes?
Yeah, there are other countries that are suffering from similar cyber threats activities. Countries like India have one of the largest cyber crime.
Okay.
More than Nigeria.
Is it because of the population? Because you see, India and Nigeria,
yes.
somehow we are competing in terms of, well, not necessarily competing, but somehow we have this population issue. But is it about population or poverty tendency?
It's not about population. It's about people being redundant, people being idle. You know, when you're idle and you have a lot of problems that you need to solve, you start thinking of, crazy ideas will start coming into you. And those gifts that God must have blessed you with, you start using it for wrong things.
Oh, I see. Now you brought us into another aspect of this conversation, and which, of course, I wish we had started with it. Now, the very people involved in this cyber attack and all that, do you see some of these as people, people whom are resourceful that would needed to have been, harnessed and then made good use of?
Yes, of course. There's something about the U.S., America, United States of America, of course. So there's this. Let me bring an instance. There's this movie that is about a guy who forged checks and withdraw. Then when the government caught him, instead of taking him to prison, they absolved him.
Okay.
They made him part of CIA
to
investigate forgeries. So he become part of the law enforcement. So I think for Nigeria we should mimic something like that. So when we get, despite the fact we have to be mindful of the kind of talent that we are absorbing back into the country, not like the Boko Haram kind of talent, because that is a different thing. Yeah. So we're talking about the talent that one can, the talent that is resourceful, just like the tech talent, of course. Because if you can break into a system, then you should be employed to secure and protect the system.
So if there should be an opening that anyone who can actually break into someone's accounts and things like that, stuff like that we call cyber attack. So if there should be an opening that anybody who can do any of this, let's have a team and then we can absorb them. We can just bring them together and give them some sort of considerations and employment and other things. Do you think how many Nigerian youths will be there?
Yeah, there will be a lot that will be there. Despite the fact that some Nigerians, the Nigerian youth, some are lazy. Yeah,
some
that. Yeah.
Are lazy.
Some are lazy. While some are really out there to do the real hustling. Yeah, the lazy ones are the ones who want fast money, like the Yahoo and the rest. Yeah, they have all the talent, but they wouldn't want to, use that talent to source out funds or money in the right channel. So they prefer duping people, scamming people, pretend to be people in order to collect money from people. Those are the laziest set of people I'm talking about.
All right.
But there is how we the Nigerian government can assist in really training those people and giving them the room to explore their talent on what they can do. Because if someone, like I said, if someone can break a system, employ him to protect the system.
Oh my, I think I love this. If someone can break a system, employ him to protect the system. Oh, this is lovely. Recently, EFCC boss, there's an incident, a young man, he brought a young man actually, maybe the agency was doing some work just because there has been a lot of issue about this young man. And so at a point he brought him to his office and said, "Are you too young for us to put you behind the bars? And so please, why should you have yourself bend into doing this? Okay, by the way, how do you do it? Can you show me or something?" They say, "Okay, just give me one detail, maybe just phone number." The young man said, "Just give me your phone number," and then he gave him, and then he hacked into his account. It was a wow. this, just my phone number, you are able to do this. Instead, somehow I'll pay off your school fees and other things and to settle some of the reasons you have as an excuse why you have embarked in this. And you said something actually, Chair, which is very important for us to emphasize. Lack of, idleness, right? People don't have, what engage them positively. And so they think of solving the problems that keep coming over them. So they want to solve it by all means. And so they end up with the talents, God's given endowment. So they end up just using it the wrong way. That's what you say. Anyway, thank you so much, sir, for coming to the studio for this. All right, before we continue, it's time for a commercial break even right now. Our listener and viewer, we've been in the studio with Mr. Chair Leo Dealers, and we will continue. But before then, let's go for a commercial break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way. It concerns you. It kill love, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
Mr. Politician, It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion, Mr. Politician? It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
Thank you very much for staying tuned with us on Unity 93.3 FM. We are reaching you live again and again from the hills of ZINARIYA, here in Just North, Plateau State, Nigeria. The voice of reason. Yes, home of peace and tourism. Okay, the studio line for you to be part of this conversation is 07032353315. Just call us and let's hear your own opinion. Okay, the youth, are so gifted and talented. I really believe in the gifts of Nigerians, particularly our youth. I'm so proud of you. It doesn't matter what is happening. I still believe that there is hope for this country. Let's not just give up in ourselves, all right? So we've been talking about cyber security, and Mr. Chair Leo Dealers is in the studio. Together we've been doing this. Earlier on the first segment of Unity Trend, it has been Barrister Paul Zaruma and Professor P.H. Mayi. If you call, tell me your name and location, you go straight up. In 1 minute, let's have your submissions, but stay away from comments and statements that have in their capacity to undermine the integrity of an individual or group of individuals. Please, what we really care to do on this platform is to promote peaceful coexistence. So let's just begin. Hello, good morning.
Good morning once again.
Thank you for calling. All right, let's have you in a minute. All right, Jutsad.
Thank you, my brother. Professor said it first. Thank you, Professor, for enlightening people about what happened yesterday at Terminus Market.
Yes.
You know, at times when some people speak, some of those hoodlums, can you hear that most of them are listening to radio? You understand?
Yes.
Because one of them called in the morning that they are connecting this out. Is ignorance is an excuse to this. It's not an excuse. You understand? You know that this thing is bad. The government of the day ban you from selling at roadside. But we decided to be there. Let me tell you something. After this that is yesterday, I went there by myself to interview some of those people that are selling there.
All right.
You know what they say? That the sales that they are making there, they cannot get inside the market.
Okay.
And that even those that sold jobs cannot get the sales that they are making. That was why they are staying there. The interest of the not taking interest.
All right.
Now, a life was lost yesterday. And they see go back next today again and start selling.
All right, thank you.
Is that not madness?
Thank you, Mr. Jude Sad, for calling. All right, please, if you happen to have an opinion, please, whatever it is that you have to say, all we care to monitor is that you don't get to say anything that will undermine anybody's integrity. That's all. Your name and location. In 1 minute, let's have your submission. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kubi.
Thank you for calling.
Good morning, Professor and the barrister in the house.
Thank you.
My name is Nahude Joe, calling from Terminus.
All right, go on, please, in a minute.
What I want to say is, when we are talking about the issue of Boko Haram,
yes.
Why Boko Haram cannot stop in Nigeria is because of there is some of the betrayer inside the Nigerian army or forces or Nigerian forces. You understand?
Yes.
So these people that are coming to catch these boys, these security people, those forces people that come with their lot of cars to guide them. Before they start moving where they are coming from, there is an informant that will inform them. We are coming in, we are coming in. Some of them will raise their hand, they don't call us, say they are coming. So we should evacuate on the road.
All right.
Those boys, some of them will just evacuate, some of them say, it's a lie, they cannot come now. You understand? Before you know it, when they come, they say, hey, Cheryl, I told you. So you see, that sent in Nigeria. Because if Nigeria army is going to St. Peter, some of them will be there, tell the Boko Haram, these people are from Boko Haram, kill our innocent citizens, kill our captain, general, and major, and so on and so forth. We have Nigeria, and their wives become widows, their children become orphans. The same thing are happening here and now. I have them to know that they say, you understand? So either the security, let them get them take themselves. Notice people that are calling these boys, telling them they are coming. This is number one. Then number two, inside terminals, somebody come and should come and buy shop. I went there, they say, one small bottle, I should buy it 300,000. You understand? I say, government are giving this place free. Why must you tell it? This is another thing. Then another one is what happened yesterday. I pray for the man, may he still rest in peace. And the family, my friend, keep their heart to hear. Because now the children are going to become more fun. You understand? And it's somebody's father, it's somebody's uncle, it's somebody's breadwinner in the family died yesterday. Because of part of stubbornness of the youth, the stubbornness of the harshness of human beings. Now, government says the same thing happening now in bus drivers. They should not cross this railway. Bus driver will use speed one way from the railway gate.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kingsley. Thank you so much.
The same thing are happening now.
Thank you for calling. All right, that was Mr. Kingsley Barnabas, always calling to give us facts about the situation, particularly at Terminus Market. All right, we've been talking Terminus, and of course, just after that, at the review segment and during the transit segment, we were just talking about cyber security as well. So please be a part of it. 07032353315, and for Facebook, you can connect with us at Unity Radio FM/TV. Just drop your comments. I'll get to read them. My apologies to our viewer and listener. I wasn't able to read it yesterday because of the network was not really supporting. And so please, okay, and for SMS, in case you want to send us your text message, you can do that as to 0808-478-9999. Text messages. The line again, 0808-478-9999. The first text message this morning says, good morning, crew. The government of the day is okay. All right, I don't think this one is for us to read on air. So please make sure your text messages, like I have said, it has to be something that will support our efforts to ensure sustainable, peaceful coexistence on the plateau and beyond. All right, another text message. Good morning, Kubi, and our amiable, consistent, and passionate analyst, Professor Bamaye, and Barrister Paul Zaruma. God bless, strengthen, and sustain you as you keep informing and educating us with wonderful and objective analysis. It's unfortunate that even when government is trying to sanitize the city, people are bent on disobeying the law. Now we've lost a life. May God rest the soul of the police officer and comfort his family. I say amen to that. The government should not relent despite what happened and do the needful. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Unity FM and Nigeria. And that is from Christy Iksan from Rukuba Road. Another text message here say, I blame the people who patronize them on the road. Good morning, Unity FM, Kubi, Prof B, and Barrister Z, Zaruma. I wish you all a blissful day. Daniel Adam, the lady, Kabonset Light Market. One man, one farm, one woman, two farm. Thank you. All right, another one says, text message, say, good morning, presenter. You people need to talk to the government to obey rules of law. This is government that refused to swear in members of state assembly, sack PLATEAU, VC, and even a professor support it. Sack elected local government and also sack workers recruited by his predecessor, and we here calling police names. Why can't we call the government to obey rules of law? Why is it always right in Mutfang's case, but not always right in Tinubu's case on this program? Okay, we have been saying it. We've talked about local government chairman. We've talked about the lawmakers whom have not been sworn in on this platform, except if you were not tuned to this very dial. And in fact, even as the issue, has been silent, we also brought it on board and we talked about it. Your name is not here, maybe because you know what you're writing. Well, I appreciate you for sending in your message. So please, if you listen to this program halfway, there is no way you will have the full package of it. So please, there is no way we have supported everything done. We have said on this platform that there is no way to continue to have transition committee chairman leading the local government and also the rest lawmakers who have not been sworn in to be sworn in. That we have emphasized on this platform. So please, if you are saying anything against any of our submissions, you should always be part of the program fully before you send in. Is that why your name is not captured on your text message? Anyway, we appreciate you for saying that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kuzu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Mr. from Gold.
All right, let's have you in a minute, please.
I agree to bless you in the studio.
Amen.
Today, my take this morning, Mr. Kuzu, hospital are becoming up like to obey government order.
All right.
You don't have to obey government order. There is nothing we can do. Everything the government are doing is only we platoon. And for visitors that will come into Plateau to see how beautiful the state will look like. You know, things times are hard. But please, let's always remain faithful. Let's obey order. Wherever we are, God will always bless us with whatever we will get. Please. And on the other hand, I want to speak on this issue of cyber security.
Yes.
This cyber crime. Sorry. You see, can even talk more about it. Your judge have already given a lot of things about this cyber crime. You see, some of them even go to the extent of even asking you, coming close to you, to even come, give me a particular dot and make a fake transfer to you. And you will just see a fake transfer, and if care is not taken, that person would have gone, and before you realize, you have been duped. You see, I just want to encourage our youth to get their energy towards productive ventures.
All right.
The talent we have, we should utilize it properly, not as youth. Let's don't use the talent we use for farming and teaching people because it does not fit. Anytime you are in trouble, go to the extent of going with POS and going to people shops to change POS. You will see a lot of things about this cyber crime. And in that time that we do the needful, as youth, let us know that bad act does not fit. Let us involve in the productive venture that will go. We will not be blaming the government always, and we are not doing the right thing.
All right.
So I pray God will continue to bless you for your good work. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adewumi. It's been a while when Mr. Adewumi called to remind the government about the breach that doesn't have protective to either of its sides. Normally you have a span, across from one edge to the other, and then you always have whether wooden, metal, protectives to the side, so nobody gets to fall over the breach. And so the breach is somewhere around the Faringada, close to University of Jos Student Village. So please, AS Bridge they call it. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Ahmed. I'm calling from Baltimore.
Ahmed, it's good to have you. Your voice, please, be more audible.
Thank you very much. Please, I want to share some light with you regarding this issue of cannot market.
Please go on.
Especially around what actually we had those students issue.
Okay, please go on.
Yes, please. I am calling on the attention of all those traders that are celebrating illegally along that kind of country. With a great peace and harmony. Because to obey is better than sacrifice.
Okay.
What government has given a directive order that they don't want to see anybody displaying it along that axis.
Yes.
Please and please in the best state of peace and also safety of their lives and property. If we evacuate that place, let them go inside the market. We don't want to find ourselves in the situation of anarchy.
Thank you.
Please and please. Because going there to take security men on daily basis, that does not make any sense.
All right.
Who is the person behind sponsoring those traders to be taking security for those days? Can you fight government? A government is government. And when you say that there will be no government that will lead you in life,
All right.
how do you expect to progress and also develop?
All right.
Somebody might just, maybe as you are walking on the road, some on you. But if there is no
Hello, are you there?
that can guide and monitor your activities, then your life is safe. So please and please, I'm advising our fellow traders around that market.
Okay.
Please avoid that place.
All right.
If you go inside.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much for your submission. You know, just this morning, someone called and said there are people, and he named them as union, that will collect amounts not less than 50,000. According to the call I received at City Reports, he was just about to share some vital information when the call dropped. Okay, that will collect some amount of money and just give them a portion, even on the street, just to sell, to do their trading activities. And again, another one has revealed that there are people who have shops somewhere in terminals, but will give some of these traders to have them, you know, have a place somewhere around the street to sell for them. So when you say that people should not sell by the street, then definitely somehow is affecting someone who owns a shop, but give a number of traders to sell by the streets. So it's a whole lot of issue, and whatever it is, the government has already issued, there's an instructions, and so let's just be all out to comply. That's what we are encouraging even on this platform. Thank you so much for always being there. Now, Chair, back to you. Let's see if we can be able to talk about, Adewumi called earlier and talked about our youth. You see, should there be anything, I mean, that the government should do just so to bring in this youth, to engage them? Well, we say youth, it's not as if it's only youth that are, you know, found engaging in such cyber crimes, but of course we're just using youth, just they seeing that they serve the most, you know, highest number amongst those who are involved in such. Do you expect the government to do anything?
Yes, the government can do a lot, though despite the fact they have started something. There's what the government has started already called 3MTT.
Okay.
It's a training for skill set, digital skill set, including cybersecurity.
Okay.
Yeah. So the youth can also subscribe to that, register, and they get trained. And after getting trained in those certain skills, they can also look for jobs. There are remote jobs out there that a lot of people can do. You can be here working for companies even outside the country border. So yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay. This one say thanks. Life is a temporary loan, and this world is nothing but sketchy limitations of reality. Wisdoms from the stories of those who have knowledge. God said, if you walk towards me, I rush towards you. You come to me, and a little handsome, and I come to hold forward. One of the way to fear God is to be able to take admonition. Okay, and this is from Hassan Garba. All right. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kuzi. I didn't really call back.
All right, thank you.
Please, I just want to ask a question.
All right.
I want to ask a question. As regards this issue of cyber security that the government came up with,
Yes.
is he in support of such idea? Can that be, because you see, when the government said Nigerians will be the one paying 0.5%, now when the action came up, you understand? We are not happy because they feel they cannot be paying for their position in the bank. Is it not the work of the bank that are supposed to take care of this cyber crime? Because I wonder why you have BVS at the bank, and the bank will be telling you should not disclose your BVS to others. Even if you do not disclose your BVS, they still have other means of using your ATM to hack into your account. What can he advise the bank to do to guide against this cyber crime? Thank you, and God continue to bless you for your
All right. I think because of time, I'll just let you respond to Adewumi immediately.
Okay. Mr. Adewumi, thank you for your question. So the banks should always put in check their cyber security activities, and they should make sure all the protective measures are put in place. Now, when the bank issue you your BVN, yeah, you as the bank, I mean the account owner, is not meant to expose your BVN to anybody.
Yes.
Yeah. So and the bank will never call you to request for your BVN except if you are there to open an account. Then they can now use the BVN to link your account from one bank to the other. That is if you have accounts in different banks. Yeah. So in that regard, we in the regard of cybersecurity levy, I think that's where the question is coming from. Yeah. So the cybersecurity levy that the government were trying to impose to the citizens, I feel it's not right, because the bank should be the one, or whomever that is servicing you with those services, either financially or otherwise, they should be the one to pay for the cybersecurity activities of their company or their financial institution. So it's not the responsibility of the citizen to pay for that.
All right, so it's not our responsibility, you say.
Yeah.
All right, Esther, okay, Esther Bulus say good morning, Kubi, and the professor, the barrister in the studio. May God continue to reward you both for educating us and the general public for free of charge. We pray for peaceful coexistence in Plateau State and Nigeria, and that's in Facebook. Thank you. And another one say Jazz Tech Media. Okay, Just Tech Media. All right. Good morning, Mr. Kobe and the guest in the studio. I would like to appreciate Mr. Dilla's chair on the awareness of cybersecurity, because many people have fallen victims of that cybersecurity, I want to believe, including me, where one called me that he's from Access Bank, that there is money he's sharing by federal government, and for me to claim it, I should send my ATM card number, which I quickly rushed to the bank to confirm it is true, and they told me that is 419, that there's nothing like that bank cannot call me for the ATM card number. Thank you. That's Jaws Tech Media. Appreciate. God bless you for this awareness. God bless Unity FM. Okay, our Facebook page is not really supporting me again this morning. I truly apologize. But good morning, Kobe. Good morning, Professor PH Bamayi and Barrister Paul Zaruma. As always, we appreciate you for taking the functions of so many people in on this blessed platform, 1993 Unity Trend, which the other sister radio stations, 93.7 Political Update. This is a very large institutions for disseminations, genuinely informations nationwide. It's so sad what happens in Terminus because it's center of unity and commerce in Plateau State. Kudos to you and your guests. Thank you at Ismail. Ismail, I truly apologize. I've not been able to read your comments on Facebook every day, but yet you've not given up. And this one says, good morning, Kobe and Professor and the barrister. I'm watching you live from Ricos Yen Cementi. Seriously, what happened at Terminus market is very unfortunate. People should respect the law, and the government should consider the economic hardship, because the people are really suffering about labor. Government should fully labor, promised in order the country to move forward. That's the much I think we will be able to take on today's edition from Facebook and calls and SMS as well. Truly apologize. We'll do our best to make sure all of your comments on Facebook and text messages, are read. What will be your parting word, Mr. Chair Dealers?
We should always be mindful of our cyber activities and where we go to, or whichever internet we surf through. And I wish all success and have a blessed day.
All right, thank you, Chair Tillis, for coming to the studio.
Thank you, Kobe.
Truly appreciate it. All right, my viewer and listener, as always, let me say thank you on behalf of Professor and Barrister and the rest of staff and management of Unity 93.3 FM and TV for always patronizing. Okay, this is the end of it for today. our community broadcast comes your way on our radio stations. I want to appreciate the crew who made this possible. Our GSM, Engineer Saliu Norogo, and every other person as well. From me, Colby, see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day ahead. Bye-bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me